Welcome to this explainer. In just the few seconds it took you to hit play, your body executed millions of complex chemical reactions just to keep you sitting upright and breathing. Today, we're diving into the vibrant, really cinematic journey of how our bodies extract energy from the world around us. We'll be moving from the microscopic engines deep inside our cells all the way out to the macroscopic mechanics of our expanding chests. I'm honestly so excited to guide you through this because the sheer engineering of human respiration is absolutely mind-blowing. Let's get right into it.
Here is our flight path for today. We're going to start with the cellular power plant, trace the pathways of glucose breakdown, check out the anatomy of the airways, and then wrap things up with the actual mechanics of breathing.
Section 1. The cellular power plant, fueling the biological machine. So let's establish right up front why our bodies are essentially desperate for energy.
At its absolute core, cellular respiration is a catabolic process happening right inside the mitochondria of our cells. Now, what does catabolic mean? It simply means breaking things down, right? And oxidation essentially means we're burning that fuel using oxygen on a microscopic scale. We take the nutrients, like glucose that we consume, break them down, and burn them to release the power we need to survive. It's quite literally the ultimate biological engine room.
What's really fascinating here is the stark contrast in how life survives depending on whether oxygen is actually around. On one side, we have aerobic respiration. This requires oxygen, and it's the highly efficient process humans use to oxidize our food. But on the flip side, if there is absolutely zero oxygen present, organisms like yeast use anaerobic respiration just to scrape by. And this brings us to the whole point of respiration, creating ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Think of ATP as the vital energy currency of your body. It gets minted when ADP, adenosine diphosphate, combines with an extra phosphate. That creates a fully charged biological battery, ready to power absolutely everything you do. Once it's minted, this energy currency is shipped out to provide life to your entire body.
All right, Section 2. Pathways of glucose breakdown, the journey of fuel. How do our bodies actually break down our food to cash in on that precious ATP currency?
It's kind of like a microscopic choose-your-own-adventure story. Glucose starts the journey by splitting into pyruvate, dropping from a 6-carbon compound to a 3-carbon compound. From there, it hits a crossroads based entirely on oxygen. If there's no oxygen at all, like in yeast, it forms ethanol and carbon dioxide. If there's a lack of oxygen in human muscles, it forms lactic acid. But if oxygen is fully present, the pathway moves right into the mitochondria, beautifully releasing carbon dioxide, water, and our massive payload of ATP energy.
Actually, if you've ever felt that intense, fiery muscle burn during a really heavy workout, that's the anaerobic pathway kicking in. Your muscles are demanding way more energy than you can breathe in, resulting in a lack of available oxygen. So lactic acid gets deposited directly into your muscle tissue. It's a great emergency backup system, but man, it comes with a painful price tag.
Moving on to Section 3, Anatomy of the Airways, the physical delivery system. Now we know why we desperately need oxygen to create energy efficiently, but how do we physically get it from the air around us, all the way down into our bloodstream? Let's follow the air's majestic journey. It goes straight from the nostrils into the nasal cavity, travels down the trachea, or windpipe, which then splits into 2 bronchi. Those enter the lungs and branch out into tiny, grass-like structures called bronchioles. Finally, the journey arrives at millions of incredible balloon-like structures called alveoli. Get this, if you were to flatten out all those tiny alveoli, their surface area would cover an entire tennis court. Crazy, right? And the whole shebang starts in the nasal cavity, which surprisingly acts exactly like a biological air conditioner. Just like the quote says, it maintains the level of the air, the temperature, and it filters it. Your body uses tiny hairs to stop dust and insects, and mucus to protect the lining. Together, they perfectly regulate the temperature of the incoming air. So whether it's freezing cold or blistering hot outside, that air is perfectly optimized before it ever hits your delicate lungs.
Right past this biological AC unit is a crucial yet super simple safety mechanism called the glottis. It's just a tiny flap. But when you swallow food, this flap elegantly closes over your windpipe to ensure your meal goes straight to your stomach and not down into your respiratory system. It is a highly effective biological traffic controller.
So the anatomical journey ends at those balloon-like air sacs, the alveoli. These are absolutely critical because they're wrapped tightly in blood vessels. It's literally a swap meet junction. Oxygen gets snatched up into the blood to be sent out to your body, while the carbon dioxide, that waste product created back in the mitochondria during cellular respiration, gets dumped off into the lungs to be exhaled. Finally, Section 4, the mechanics of breathing, the rhythmic pump. We have the plumbing in place, sure, but how do we physically force the air in and out?
Well, think of your thoracic or chest cavity as an expandable vault protecting your lungs. And those lungs are wrapped in a delicate membrane called the pleura. The vault's walls are lined with intercostal muscles attached to your ribs, and the floor of this vault is a powerful, vital muscle called the diaphragm that separates your stomach from your chest. These are the heavy lifters of respiration.
It all boils down to a perfect inverse relationship of physics. When you inhale, your intercostal muscles and diaphragm expand that chest vault. Volume goes up, which forces the internal pressure to go down, naturally pulling maximum oxygen in from the outside. To exhale, the cavity shrinks. Volume decreases, internal pressure shoots up, and that extra pressure actively pushes the waste carbon dioxide right out of your body.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. As you sit there, completely effortlessly, managing pressure and volume to inhale and exhale, how incredible is it that billions of microscopic cellular engines are orchestrating it all right now? Your mitochondria are constantly demanding oxygen to mint ATP, driving the beautiful rhythmic pump of your chest. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. Keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.